Enough for that. Why do I do a political show? Well, it has to be because of one of my favorite political quotes, the Gessner philosophy. And it says, the right leaders feel a sense of urgency in good times and bad, whether facing threat or opportunity. No matter what, they are obsessed, afflicted with a creative compulsion and inner drive for progress, burning hot coals in the stomach that remains constant, whether facing threat or opportunity. This is what I also believe, that there's a sense of urgency that needs to be done with every right leader. And that is why I do the show. This, I believe, I am MD. I'm a leader.
A very good morning to you this very lovely day. I'm glad you joined me. Yes, it's another Saturday to dig around to find out what are the big stories. How did they make the rounds? How did they change the stories of the week? Oh yeah, so much can be said about such a day like this. Yes, it is the 5th day in the month of September 2020. For those who send extended wishes and prayers, yes, I'm fine. I would leave. Just a stomach bug, very stubborn stomach bug, but I did overcome, and I'm glad I'm here. This is the brief with FMD Live. There's so much to cover from this week. Remember last week, much of the dispute was between the Nigerian government and the Ghanaian government regarding the treatment of Nigerians who live and trade business in Ghana. Well, an attempt by the Nigerian government this week to resolve that is underway. The Speaker of the House of Representatives did travel to Ghana, yet there are reasons to believe that this will be resolved. I'll bring you the breakdown of that this very week. Also, the response, you remember, written by the Minister of Ghana, now to the Nigerian counterpart, Minister of Information, with regards to what he thinks he has in error, in perspective, and the likes of that. That was also one of the big stories from this week. Hey, don't miss out on the fact that the ECOWAS head of states and government also did meet this week with regards to the situation building up in Mali. I've got exactly what President Muhammadu Buhari did say about that situation for you, so you get to know how to build around this. In Zamfara State in Nigeria, the governor there, Bello Matawalle, has promised to reintroduce serious punitive measures of death on reckless drivers in the state. Let's check in with the figures. The CBN as well was off the tracks this week. It did shoot off, trying to bring perspective to the numbers. The numbers that best describe where we are in foreign reserves, where we are in terms of exchange, where we are in terms of where we would be going. The monthly economic report was out this week. I'll read that out to you a little bit, the brief of that, around that as well. Well, the U.S. presidential campaign goes on for both candidates, two major candidates, as always, Donald Trump and not even Joe Biden. They were both really onto it this week. So it was interesting just to follow through with their activities and the points that they were to go after. Now, the ease of the lockdown in Nigeria. Yes, a lot of us have waited for Thursday. Thursday was a major point. New announcement, new steps. Well, Boss Mustafa, who is the Secretary to the General of the Federation of the Nigerian government, did put up a new perspective, including the period of the curfew. Now, the curfew would run between 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. And in my head, I'm wondering, well, if you're really, really outside at that time of the day, you really have a lot to do. Okay, in Rivers State, we take a look at the story of a mother who lost a 9-year-old female child after she put sniper in her hair to kill lice. Yes, sniper is some poison we used to kill, well, rats, rodents, and the likes of that. But she made an attempt to use it to wash the hair of her child. Even saying that is giving me a lot of shroom. Okay, not awesome, it's not. Yes, another story of this week would have to be the political group, leadership of the of an organization is calling on the president with regards to the price of petrol. Now, this week was super all over the charts. There was the talk about the price of petrol. There was the talk about the price of electricity and the metering service now. What else increased the diamonds? Oh, yes, there was also the price about tax. Oh, not the price of tax, but tax. The increase literally on new tax. Did anybody know that digital platforms are now being taxed? And the currency or the amount of money that they have to pay around that is really mind-boggling. Oh, yeah, we would survive. I would survive. Well, these are some of the stories that made up part of the week, and I hope you're ready for them. Let me share them with you one after the other in the fast, quick, verifiable way that I'm able to provide all these stories for you. This is the place to be. Welcome to The Brief with Femde Live. I'll be back shortly.
A great talk show unravels your thinking, makes you stop to listen, engages you in a debate of opinions.
I believe this man knows what he's doing. He is a Nigerian.
And ultimately brings you to the king of talk radio, Femi D Live.
All right, the Supreme Court will today deliver two judgments on the two surviving appeals. Oh, I said today. I meant to say that was during the week. They did two judgments on two surviving appeals in a dispute on whether the candidate of the All Progressive Congress, that's the incumbent governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, was lawfully returned by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Bottom line, yes, the Supreme Court said he is the rightful winner of the election that did take place in Kogi State 2019, about November 2019. So the verdict on that was done this week. It did not survive the court proceedings on the 25th of August earlier this year when that was taken on, but the Supreme Court eventually did rule on that. Remember, the first appeal on this was filed by the People's Democratic Party candidate, Engineer Musa Wadam. And then the second appeal was done by Social Democratic Party candidate, the lady you know as Natasha Apoti. Now, that did go on as part of this week. Also this week, the Ghanaian government reacted to claims made by the federal government over the maltreatment of Nigerians in the country, among issues raised. In a statement issued on Sunday, the Ghanaian's Minister of Information and Kojo Opong Nkrumah said President Nana Akufo-Addo will engage with President Muhammadu Buhari to resolve the matters amicably. Well, that was interesting because that letter, they did write in an information that did come in 2 days after the Minister of Information here in Nigeria, Lai Mohammed, did write to the Ghanaian government with regards to, oh, your guys here don't actually pay rent, we don't disturb them. I mean, there were quite a number of good points he raised. But a lot of them, the Minister of Information in Ghana countered by saying, well, these points are not exactly true. Whether that is true or not now, I can't verify. But I mean, they went on and on with regards to counterpoints with each other in that situation. So Nigeria and Ghana still at it. Let's hope the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, is able to give us real points. And I say real points that shows a point of resolution. Something like that, I believe. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari joined ECOWAS head of states and government to ask the military junta in Mali to set an acceptable timetable for the country to return to democracy. Now, President Buhari, in a virtual third extraordinary summit of ECOWAS on the socio-political crisis in Mali, said Mali, as a geopolitical entity, could not afford to stand alone. Let me allow you to listen to how he explained his points with regards to this situation. He said, well, the desired result needs to be done. Meanwhile, former President Goodluck Jonathan clearly showed that the regional body's engagement in Mali's new military leadership had yet to achieve the desired result in several key areas. So here's one of the talking points from that discussion just this week.
I am personally happy to hear of the release from detention yesterday of the former president of Mali, Ibrahim Boubacar Keita, who is reported to be in good condition. The disposition of new leadership to free the remaining senior officials is noted, as this should contribute to the renewed sense of belonging to the Malian people. With regards to other threats areas being negotiated, Nigeria believes that the people of Mali and the military leaders need to appreciate the fragility of their country and the imminent danger which it poses to the citizens of Mali as well as of the ECOWAS sub-region.
All right, that was President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria was speaking clearly with regards to the Mali situation, hoping that there's a resolution that comes along soon enough. Now, in Kaduna State, here in Nigeria, just in the northwestern part, no, not central now, National El-Rufai has asked security agencies to arrest the killers of a 12-year-old Edda, Usman Abdullahi, by some persons at Sabuzuro Tunga Nok Road in Jaba local government area of the state. He commended the Fulani and Ham leaders in Jaba for the escalating tension and keeping the peace after the incident. The Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs in Kaduna, Samuel Aruwan, gave the commendation on behalf of the governor during a peace advocacy engagement between the leaders of both the ethnic groups at Ungwan Tunga in Nok district. Well, that did happen this week. Let's go to another Nigerian state now. This time, it is in Zamfara State. The governor there, Bello Matalawi, has promised to reintroduce serious punitive measures of death on reckless drivers in the state. The decision followed the death of 15 supporters of the People's Democratic Party in a road accident in Safa local government area of the state. The accident occurred on Saturday when a truck lost control and rammed into 4 vehicles conveying the victims along Gusau Funtua Road in Safa. Now, the governor is really furious about this. Let me let you in on what he said about this situation and then how it all plays out. Take a listen for yourself.
We have to make sure that we do everything possible to safeguard the life of our people. And the best way to do is that we make sure that we protect our road and we put some measures so that we can control all the drivers that are coming in and out of the state. The state government has to initiate measures so that we can be able to control all this kind of problems. So the state government is planning to make sure that we have a weighing gauge in the state and the speed limits. We have to initiate that, and very soon we're going to do that because I observed by myself that the higher speed that some of these truck drivers are going in the state is very uncommon.
All right, that was the Zamfara State governor that's speaking with regards to the accident within the province of his own state there. Now, the latest figures, these numbers are quite important, from the Central Bank of Nigeria, have shown that the country's foreign reserves rose by 70 million US dollars. It was initially at 35.59 billion US dollars as of August 20, which had up to 35.66 billion on August 27. So you see the numbers changing easily from 35.59 billion a week before, that's on August 20. By August 27, it was 35.66. And then by now, look, that's just by end of August, it was 70 million US dollars. The reserve Adela dropped by 278.91 million US dollars from 35.87 billion US dollars as of July 29. According to the CBS monthly economic report for the month of April, Nigeria's international reserves increased from 33.69 billion US dollars at the end of March to 36.46 billion at the end of April. While reflecting on the receipt of the proceeds of the International Monetary Fund's rapid financing instrument of 3.4 billion, it showed that the level of import cover was really at a good place. So let's just say this way, we have more money in the reserve, we just may need more money in the economy. I said it, I just said it, I couldn't help it, I just have to say that. Okay, so let's move on to another day now. Still with the brief for this week. Another interesting moment that really did happen as we go along for this week would have to, I see it now, would have to be the story with regards to the African Development Bank. Yes, the president there did get a second term. Akinwumi Adesina will be leading that team for the next 5 years. Yes, COVID-19 pandemic has really got the continent on the back edge, if you ask me. But hey, he's back in charge, despite the fact that at some point in time, well, there was contest as regards maybe it's the first, but that was cleared eventually. Adesina was speaking on Tuesday after being sworn in shortly after being sworn in. He was speaking in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. He said the AFDB under his watch will work really hard to make sure that various countries ensure that better policies and better time is achieved. I'd like you to take a listen to how he described this situation and how he feels now that he has more years to come to lead the very important organization in Africa.
I will be the president for all. When you first elected me 5 years ago, I had a vision. 5 years later, I have yet a vision to build on our collective achievements over the next 5 years. A vision to build a much stronger and resilient African Development Bank group with the leadership and capacity to deliver greater quality impacts for the people of Africa while remaining financially strong and sustainable. So our focus will be on institution, people, delivery, and sustainability.
All right, well, that sounds like a good plan. Let's hope it plays out as such. Okay, so speaking of the House of Representatives here in Nigeria, Femi Gbajabiamila did leave from Nigeria to Ghana, where he's expected to meet, so he was expected to meet the likes of Ghanaian officials and discuss two issues arising there. The issue of the closure and the harassment of some Nigerian businesses. Gbajabiamila held closed-door meetings with President Muhammadu Buhari before departing the country. He was said to was seeking the blessing of the president and also to brief him about the mission he was embarking on. Well, Gbajabiamila had last week said the closure of Nigerian shops in Ghana contravened the ECOWAS trade protocols and had called for a decisive solution by both countries. It brings forward another conversation now. Okay, I know. Well, we have about this close, and some people say, well, it's also a breach of the ECOWAS protocol. So there's so much to talk about when you think about the meat part of that. Okay, so also this week, the Senate had denied claims that its members received 20 million naira each as COVID-19 palliatives from the Niger Delta Development Commission. The Director of Projects Interim Management Committee of the NDDC, NDDC, not NCDC now, NDDC, Dr. Cairo Ojogbo, had alleged that the agency gave 20 million naira to each senator, while each member of the House of Representatives received 15 million naira as palliatives. Okay, in a statement released on Tuesday, spokesman of the Senate, Dr. Ajibola Barishu, denied Ojogbo's claims. It challenged him to either release the full list of the lawmakers who benefited from the palliatives or tender a public apology. Also, this week, it was that moment when the National Association of Resident Doctors, the FCT chapter here, on Tuesday embarked on an indefinite strike. President of the association, Dr. Roland Agbovo, was speaking in an interview with our correspondent, said the association was left with no choice. The association was left with no choice than to embark on the strike after the FCTA failed to pay them their COVID-19 allowances. I think you need to hear this yourself.
Issues and borders on the payment of our COVID allowance and the non-implementation of the variation from our promotion, the 2018 promotion for those that were successful. We've been on this issue for over 2 months now. We've been having series of meetings with the FCTA management with a view to resolving this issue amicably. But unfortunately, all dialogue and means to resolve it without any discussion of everything were not successful because largely the office of the permanent secretary for reasons very close to kept the file in his office unattended to. So we had no option to proceed on the side action.
Dangerous times for the doctors to be on strike, but what can you say, or what can anybody actually say about this situation anyway? All right, well, stay with me, because when I do come back after the break, let me share with you the story that surrounds education in Nigeria. Some say it's a good time to resume. Some are saying, no, keep everybody out. Let's play it safe. All these are part of the questions and answers you get as the brief brings you all the stories in one place. Stay with me. I'll be back shortly.
And often asked, why do I do a political show? Well, it has to be because of one of my favorite political quotes, the Gessner philosophy. And it says, the right leaders feel a sense of urgency in good times and bad, whether facing threat or opportunity. No matter what, they are obsessed, afflicted with a creative compulsion and inner drive for progress burning hot coals in the stomach that remains constant, whether facing threat or opportunity. This is what I also believe, that there's a sense of urgency that needs to be done with every right leader. And that is why I do the show. This, I believe. I am 17. Amen. Breakfast today, every day, with the nourishment of malt, milk, and cocoa, and the delicious taste of wheat milk. Good food. For bookings and more, visit our website today on www.flyfees.com. Do you want to advance? Then also on Wazobia TV, Go TV 98, Startime 1, My TV, Channel 17, 744. Moving in our midst, our worship. Assalamu alaikum, Haji Ami. It's so good to see you. Come in. Nagori, Hajia, you must be eating healthy food, wallahi. Why? You and your family are looking fresh, fat. Sherifat, you're so funny. Well, we started taking the new Golden Moon Wazobia pack. Have you heard of it? It's just 15 naira. Golden Moon for Wazo? Yes, my sister. Hajia, let me and my family enjoy good food, mana. Golden Moon, make every day amazing. This is Femi D Live.
All right, welcome back to the show this very morning. This is the brief with Family Live. There's so much to cover. It's 10:39 a.m. Nigerian time. Right here. Okay, so much there is to talk about in terms of the stories that have really led the way during the course of this week. So in the education sector, there's been the argument about schools resume or don't resume, stay at home, don't stay at home. Atinike Gbija, Dr. Atinike Gbija was out this week speaking with various stakeholders in the education sector to find out what they truly think, whether the schools should be allowed to reopen or they should order or be left out for an extended time. Here are some of the reactions that she did get. She was speaking at first to the head of the Department Business Administration, Nasarawa State University, KEFI, Dr. Abdullahi Adamu. Here's what he said about that situation.
I don't think there is any problem. Reopening school markets are fully open. Motor parks are fully open. All these public places, people there are not as organized as those in school. So I don't think reopening where people are more enlightened at managing the crisis will have any consequences.
Well, that he has a point if you ask me. Okay, also, spokesperson for the Colleges of Education, Academic Staff Union, KOASU, Dr. Ahmed Baza, lamented the poor facilities in the colleges across the country.
We are not with school resumption until all other things are put in place. That has been the fight of the union for quite a long time at the implementation of the needs assessment, because the needs assessment covers infrastructure, sanitation, every other thing that will help the system. While the government can do all the needful, I think reopening will not be an issue.
Okay, I have to say, both of them have a point now. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed shock over the death of 6 persons and economic loss estimated to be about 1 billion naira by rice farmers in Kebbi State. In a statement issued by a senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Malam Garba Shehu in Abuja on Wednesday said the president described the unfortunate development as a major setback in his administration's effort towards boosting local food production. He expressed concerns over the heavy floods that took a number of lives, submerged thousands of hectares of farmlands and houses, destroying farm produce and personal belongings in affected communities. The president noted with dismay that the catastrophe happened at the wrong time. What a time, it really is right about it, about that in a sense. Okay. Meanwhile, another issue brewing up is the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation increased the ex-depot price of premium motor spirit. Let's call it petrol. That's what we call it in Nigeria. Some say gas in some other parts of the world. To 151 naira 56 kobo from 138 naira 62 kobo. Well, in a memo on Wednesday by the PPMC, that's Petroleum Products Marketing Company, a subsidiary of the NNPC, the memo said the changes takes effect from the 2nd of September. The ex-depot price is the price at which products is sold to the market at the depot now. Meanwhile, the independent petroleum marketers, in reaction to that memo, has directed its members in the southwest region of the country to begin sales of the premium motor spirit at 162 naira. Wait, do you get the numbers here? So they get to buy at 151. We get to buy it. All of us get to buy it at 162 naira per liter. The Southwest Zonal Chairman of IPMAN, Alhaji Dele Tajuddin, told journalists in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, that the directive became necessary following the increase in the depot loading price of the products, as one would find in this regard. So that becomes quite an interesting one to not miss out on as well. Okay. Now, I'm not missing out on another story of interest this morning. And Bumi comes into the field. Good morning to you.
I see your hands in the increase of fuel prices.
What did I do?
What did you not do? You were there when they took this decision. You never
I was there. I was there.
How can we have Femi? And they will be like, seriously? I just entered the filling station and they're like 159. Like, from where?
Do you know I've not driven out in the wild? I've not bought food. So because of malaria and typhoid.
Please don't try it.
I assure you that there's a part of my head that's imagining how it would be like when I give the real value and then it comes off with another value.
I already bought before I realized it's one, and I just checked my fuel. Like, did you cheat me? No. I said, that's 159. Like, really?
Hey.
Ben, it's not, I don't understand. Like, I know it's tough. Like, I can say it's tough because I'm like in the heat of it, actually.
I've been having three chats with people, I mean, all week long as well. You know me now, even if I would send me, I would do all those things.
You must earn your dollar.
Yes, well, you must earn your dollar. Say that way. And then somebody says to me that they should kukuma kill us.
Like
electricity, petrol, what else now? Electricity, petrol. There's also the issue of taxes. I don't know if you've heard of it. Some private organizations, those of us who work in digital media, there have been memos about new taxes, 5% for every digital product you put out and the likes of that. It's
including the digital TV.
Yes. Oh, yes. The cable networks too. They're not taking a cheap
I
thing.
just saw the stuff and like, okay, we'll watch less. If we watch less now, we are watching Arsenal. We are watching Arsenal.
Yes.
We are watching Chelsea. That's their problem. You have to play somewhere else.
My brother, it's almost at the time when people start to say, "Are you not sure we just not gather everybody go to view center and watch one match and go back?"
Like seriously, but like even in the heart of all the negatives, I want to commend those who put up the the plans for this. The federal government team that put up the plan, they really took us on our words, like the way they planned it. First, they reduced fuel price. Like
no, but I saw that coming.
Femi, that was a master plan. Like they reduced the fuel prices. Like, oh, don't worry, we are doing it very well. If you are doing it, then they increased it a little. Like people did not shout down. They were like, okay, I told you to work. And they increased it again. Like the plan was sweet. Like those who planned it, they deserve kudos. And somehow Nigerians have not been able to react. Like when it happened the last time, it was occupied the whole place.
Yeah,
but where are these people?
So one interesting thing is this. So there's a template which they use to calculate this thing. There's this petroleum template they use. That template has always been there, pretty much not in use, meaning you just have a fixed value. No matter what you do, no matter what you calculate, the answer should just be at that value that they want to sell. And when they decided to adjust this to say, oh, oil prices around the world, I told SWAT, they said, isn't that they reduce? This thing, if we follow this step, I knew all along. And when I told people that they were going to increase the price of fuel down the line, I remember the argument was in the month of April. SWAT was like, no, Femi, finally they're doing something good. You're not agreeing. We argued for about 15 minutes on the show about it.
I wish you could get those your 15 minutes back.
I can dig around. Trust me, I can dig around and get those clips back because I mentioned it that they were going to increase the price of fuel. The honest truth is this: that yes, they will need to. But my problem with increasing price of fuel at this time, price of electricity at this time, is that it's flawed with another issue. So people are not back into the economy. They've not started making money. Allow people to make money for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months before you give them reason to.
There's no Femi, there's not enough amount of analysis you want to make now that can justify whatever.
No. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying you are trying to say, oh, this should happen before they do this. I'm saying there's no amount of justification or amount of anything anyone wants to say that can justify this. There's nothing. If this set of people who are increasing the set of they don't pay jack for anything in this country. Everything they use, from their cars to their stove to their rice is bought by Nigeria. They don't feel anything. That's why they can do this. They don't feel anything. That's how I feel. Because they don't buy anything, they use our common wealth, our common resources to do whatever they do. So they don't feel it. Some have been enjoying it since they were born up till they are whatever.
I agree with you. What makes a very fundamental issue about economic thoughts. There's the difference between knowing how to work an economy and having economic thoughts. Here's what my economic
I'm talking like a layman on the street because that's what I am.
No, it's fine. Let me tell you what economic thoughts are. Now, for example, there are countries who are reacting to the issue of being locked down. They started giving their people money while they were in the lockdown. Here's the reason why they started doing that. In the event that they come out of the lockdown and they start to work every hour, they tax them for it. Those people cannot shout because they've been receiving money. They don't went back to their life before. Some other countries didn't approach that economic thought that way. Some said just about the time when we let go of the economy and everybody comes back to town, what we would do is to, if people were earning $20 per hour for any job, we'll increase it to $25 so that it looks like we're helping them to short anything at all. Some other countries froze expenses on the rent and some other things, especially things provided by the government. They froze expenses on that. Now, for countries in Africa, some wise countries, what they did is they went into their own foreign reserve. Here we are counting that our foreign reserve has increased, and it's all cherry in terms of the numbers. But
see, that's why. That's why I'm telling you that we can say a lot of English.
No, wait.
About
let me explain it. Let me explain the challenge.
It has never impacted Nigerians positively.
How you use your foreign reserves, especially when you seem to have money, is if your money is in dollars, for example, you take your currency.
Femi, I'm not interested. See, the thing is, Femi, I'm not interested. You know why I'm not interested, Femi?
Why?
Whatever application or analysis they make or the business, whatever they make, it has never impacted on. If you have, at one point, hold on. At one point, President Roberto just said he paid off the debt, Nigeria's debt.
And we're getting to what?
Of what use was it then? Of what impact was it? Now we are accruing more debts now, and whatever. So there has been no difference. It's been the masses suffering. While those who are in offices, political offices, they cut away. They drive. Their children live a life of luxury. They live a life of luxury and everything. There is nothing President Buhari and anybody involved in this can tell us as Nigerians to justify whatever they've done. This is pure. That's the challenge, because every time we think, here's the challenge, and I will tell you this absolute truth. Governments around the world, no government around the world has ever successfully justified their decisions. Even when it looks like, go back to the Italian era, the emperors, the 14th century, 15th centuries, whether it's Caesar, whether it's Cagliari, whether it's Tiberius, any of them, no matter the decision they make, it favors some, doesn't favor some. That is government decision. Please tell me who it favors. It favors the people in power. I'm not saying it favors Nigerians. They should not be favored in this. Like, that's the point. Stand to benefit from. That's the point. Because they should not stand. That's the point. That's what I was trying to explain to you. The approach Nigeria should actually have at this time, even if they ever imagine to increase the price of petrol, what should have happened is allow the economy to resume for 3 months. Let people find their means of livelihood for a while, actively be making money. Not that when they're still within a lockdown, you've increased the price where you know that they don't have a means of income to pay for it. It doesn't work that way. It has never worked that way. What they would discover, let me tell you the penalty for this. The penalty of increasing petrol price, the penalty of increasing electricity price, and all the other prices that taxes and the likes of that, is that there's what you call the tendency to ground an economy. Meaning what you've done is that the money in circulation becomes so scarce that you seem to, they'll pay for this, but then you're creating a bigger problem. The government is about to create a bigger problem by having so much money, taken from the people. At some point, there's no money to take anymore. That's what happens. The people, if there are 1,000 people that go to buy petrol at the filling station, yes, you will see a situation where people tag along with each other. There's something, you have 700 people buying petrol, you have a reduced amount of people, and that is problem. Let me tell you what. Because once there's no spending, what your recession does, the recession that takes place in percentage, it becomes localized, becomes active in us. Let me tell you what I discovered, in the last 1.5 years. Since the increase, was it 1.5 years or 3 years or so, since the increase of fuel pump at one point to 100 and something, and at some point I live in the Dubai Island. So when the issue of the fuel pump hike came up, there was, like if the inflow of traffic was at 100 before, it reduced to 30. So one thought that, when things normalize, you're going to get back to like at least 80 or so. But when things normalize, it went up to maybe 40 or 50. I'm not even sure. It was half of the traffic we used to have on that axis. You understand? But now, I'm sure you're going to get less cars. Maybe you're going to come to like 20% or so and whatever. So for me, there's no justification, number one. And for me, it's crude, it's cruel. After the coronavirus, they were busy planning how to. It's not over, by the way. It's still on the coronavirus. Like after those, lockdown period, during this lockdown period, actually, we were planning on how to inflict more pains on Nigerians. Because this is what it looks like, except someone can convince me otherwise. Like the government was planning to inflict more pains on Nigerians when the coronavirus was on. Or the palliative. I heard there was the minister of whatever, that they gave out how many palliative to how many people. If people like me and you, I've never come across someone who said he benefited from those palliatives. I wonder, we live in lies, we live in deceit. And it's painful. You know why it's painful, Femi? This set of people enjoy so much. like this allowance, that allowance, their children, their grandchildren, and everything feed on Nigeria. I'm not saying it. I've seen it. I've been in this business, I know. I've seen it. What they enjoy is unbearable. You just see them. That's why you see that corruption is high, because someone will see
somebody to maintain that lifestyle.
And apart from maintaining that lifestyle, someone like a poor person, like probably me or someone on the street, will see that and say, I want to get to government too. And when I get there, I want my children to enjoy this. You understand? And that has been it. It goes in a circle. Because when they get there, it's all about them and them and them. You understand? How can you be you work for the government? Your salary is not up to whatever. You buy a jet. Your children are buying the latest kind of cars. Where do they work? And you want to increase fuel pump price, and you want us to take it like that. Come on, the government is cruel, and they are human beings. They are not like government are, they are ghosts or whatever.
I just
human beings, they know themselves. But one thing for everyone, there's a chance. We never know when we will all die. Whatever much, how much, that's the thing. No matter how much. No, that's the truth.
Africans like to use death as the mark factor to determine justice.
It's not about. It's a natural cause for justice.
Yes.
No matter how much you have, one day you only take that 6 feet, and the rest. Someone who doesn't even know how you are.
Here's the challenge I have with every time somebody says, "Oh, in death we will see life, or we'll find out whether you were good." When nobody's around back from the dead to tell us that, if I had known, oh Lord, I wouldn't have done like this.
But the lessons we get from death is this: no matter what you have, you leave it behind. The fact that you left it behind is enough succor to tell you that those things you have, you're not taking it away. So we see them here.
Strangely, as true as that is, but I will tell you, the system of governments around the world, when you have, there's, how do I describe this? There's a way we discuss it in political classes. When you have, let's say you start off with running the government with 100 people, who are leading 100,000 people, meaning for every one person who's in government is making a decision for multiple thousands of people. Anything he says, yes or no, me do, I'm not voting, I'm not around, making a decision for such a person. What happens eventually is that when you take those 100 people and then you start to eliminate some of them, they fall out of government, fall out of all the other places, and they reduce to, let's say, 40 people taking charge of 100,000 people. One of the few things that would happen is the quality of decision making would reduce. The decisions being made have stronger implications, because anything you say that the 40 people decide on has a stronger implication on those 100 people. I think what we've done is have a reduced number of people, and I also think maybe the government should really open up to have people who have different opinions about their own line of thinking, about their own school of thought. This is not about political parties anymore. When a situation where it's gone past political parties, if somebody has an opinion, this is not the time to shoot the person up and say, go to the bunkers. We don't care about you. This is the time to actually make those moments really, really count. Make them really count. Okay, I think that's the brief. Well, we're talking about the brief. All right, let's just open up the phone lines. Bumi has spurred up quite a very powerful conversation.
No, but I'm from the street. I feel the street. I feel on the street. I walk on the street. I'm from the street.
I'm not on the street. I feel
it. But the thing is, I feel it. So whatever the pain the people are feeling, I'm feeling it. So whatever is coming from my mouth, obviously, is coming from the people.
I work about 15 hours of the day, and I'm not just an OAP. I have multiple hustle. That's why I know what it is. I don't want hustle. I think
so that when price is not going to
I have business. I have hustle. I have all kinds of things going on for me. And there's still one more. That's the honest truth. But let's hear from you. We've got a few minutes to go before we take on the commercial guest this morning. Our numbers remain 0946 00951, 08031230293. Numbers it out on 08095974869. And some people are wondering, am I even streaming all this? Oh yes, I think I picked up a streaming link this morning on my apps TV. Let's see. I want to be sure it's streaming properly before I go and say it is streaming. Meanwhile, let's go to the phone lines and hear from you. All right. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. My name still remains Chief Ugochukwu Boniface from Capital Kingdom.
All right, let's hear your respected and responsible opinion.
Thank you very much. You see, fuel increasement is not advisable in this country by now because we just can come out from, lockdown. And at the same time also, our leaders, they need to put our refineries in order. I don't know why. In early 70s, we have refineries working. And we are not producing anything here again, refineries. See, all those local refineries in Niger Delta, they need to encourage those local refineries. Do you understand me?
Yes.
And at the same time also, do you understand me? Those people that organizing protests, the both Freedom Ground and Abuja here and Lagos, those northerners and westerners that group themselves, why can't they organize another protest now about this high price of fuel increasement and the electric tariff?
Okay, thank you so much.
This is time that we start telling Nigerians truth.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much.
Now I'm not telling Nigerians the truth.
Okay, all right. It looks like I'm a serious issue here. They put plenty commercial on my belt, so they won't be able to talk so long. Let me see. I have commercial 11 a.m., 11:15, 11:30, 11:45. I need to get back to the phone line soon enough, okay? What do we do? Okay, so allow me to go on this break. After the break, I will get the chance to see where we can squeeze in more calls. So just hang in there, please. Just hang in there.
Info. Authentic info. Nigeria info.
No news. So that means that.
Wow, these guys.
Waiting up.
She just go right commercial in the here.
Say commercially.
Hello? Yeah.
Real info. Authentic
And she didn't put the card number on.
Nigeria info.
Oh, yeah, I'm listening. R16 852. No, call it again, please.
We talk.
R16. Today, key role Africa. Okay, I'm playing.
Listen to you. So much to talk about.
Alpha. How many adverts? Only one.
So,
Ready?
she just came to write this one. 11 a.m. Can you imagine?
And which other one they now?
See, no.